Hello everyone, hello grade 6, and I would like to welcome you all to our reading class. Again, my name is Mr. Albert Vera, and I will be your teacher in reading for the second quarter until the end of the school year. Okay, so I hope that you have your modules with you because that will be very important so that you could run through with our lesson today as well. Okay, so without further ado, let us start with our lesson. Okay, our lesson for today is all about informational text. Okay, so what comes into your mind when we say information or when you hear the word information? Okay, so I bet you would say that this is something that will make us knowledgeable of something or some things also. Okay, so informational text class is a text that provides facts, ideas, and principles that are related to the physical, biological, or social world and classified as non-fiction text. Second, this uses features of text in order to achieve the purpose and is written with the intention of informing the reader about a specific topic. Okay, so always put in your mind that the purpose of informational text is, of course, to inform other people. Okay, or inform other readers about a specific topic. These are typically found in magazines, science or history books, autobiographies, and instructional materials. Okay, so first, magazine. Why do you think a magazine informs? Okay, a magazine informs because, for example, if you are having a catalog magazine, then you would know specific information about the product that you are about to buy. Next, science or history books. So when you say science or history books, this provides information by giving us different information about a certain topic in science or history. Next, autobiographies. So autobiographies are biographies. There is a kind of biography that is written by the person himself or herself. Okay, so autobiographies are example or is found also in an informational text because this provides information about the life of a certain person. And instructional materials or instruction manuals. Okay, instruction manuals are informational texts because these provides instruction or it informs people on how to use a certain product such as refrigerator. So you could see many manuals in your home. So if you could find them, then that is also an example of an informational text. Okay. Second, where is informational text found? Okay, before we talk about that, first, we learn something every day by reading, right? Because when we read, we are also informed and we learn something about the certain topic that we have read. Second, we learn through various reading sources, like for example, social media, smartphone applications, and newspapers. Okay, so these texts are informative. Why? Because they build upon our prior knowledge or feed us with information that we didn't know. Sometimes we know already about something, but we don't know about everything about that certain product or a certain idea. And when we read an informational text out of the topic that you have chosen, then it would feed us with more information and you will learn more about the topic that you are reading. Okay? Next, We have to take note that a text whose purpose is to inform presents facts to the audience, enlightens them about real-world topics, and makes announcements. So when a text informs, this presents only the truth to the audience. This enlightens the audience about real-world topics or real-world scenarios, and also make announcements. Okay? So there are four types of informational texts. And what are these? First is literary nonfiction. Second is expository. Third is argument or persuasion. And fourth is procedural. Okay, so let's tackle this one by one. So literary nonfiction. Literary nonfiction includes shorter texts such as personal essays, speeches, opinion pieces, essays about art or literature, biographies, memoirs, journalism, and historical, scientific, technical, or economic accounts, including digital sources written for a broad audience. Okay, so take note about that. Personal essays, speeches, opinion pieces, essays about art or literature, biographies, memoirs, journalism, historical, scientific, technical, economic accounts that is written for a broad audience. So that is literary nonfiction. Next, autobiographies, biographies, other narrative nonfiction, informational picture books, and informational poetry often fit into this category. Okay? So, when you already read an autobiography, biography, or a narrative nonfiction, that is automatically an example of informational text under literary nonfiction. Okay, so narrative informational text typically communicates accurate information and has a well-defined beginning, middle, and end. So informational poetry weaves facts into poems. So you see, poems could also be used to inform. Okay, it's just how you relay the information, then that will be already an informational text under literary nonfiction. Okay, so do you understand now what is literary nonfiction? That's great. Okay, so let's proceed now to the next kind of informational text. Okay, so procedural text. So procedural texts provide step-by-step guidelines that describe how to complete a task. Okay, so these often include a materials needed section and graphics that illustrate the process. Okay, so example for procedural text are, of course, instructional manuals like how to use or how to install a television, um, how to install the cable in the television, how to use the laptop, or how to take care of your electric fan. Or, of course, you could also use this in cooking, how to cook adobo, how to cook paksiw, or what are the ingredients needed and what to do with spaghetti, and lots more. So that is an example of an informational text. Okay? So under procedural text, of course. Next is expository text. So expository texts inform, explain, and expose. They usually they usually utilize various text structures such as description, cause and effect, comparison and contrast, problem and solution, question and answer, and temporal sequence. Okay, remember IEE, okay? When you say IEE, inform, explain, and expose. And this is expository text. Okay, so when you say it informs, it explains, and it exposes, it is already an expository text. Okay, that's right. All right. Okay, for our next kind of informational text, we have argument or persuasion text. Okay, so argument or persuasion texts provide evidence with the intent of influencing the beliefs or actions of the target audience. Okay, second, these texts typically include claims, evidence, and warrants to explain how the evidence is linked to the claims. Okay? So when you say argument or persuasion, you argue with something or you oppose with something that is being said already. But, of course, this also provides information. Example for that is a debate. So when you debate, you argue or you persuade the people that, okay, this one is beneficial and the other is not beneficial, and vice versa. Okay, so writers of persuasion or argument also make appeals. So appeals to the author's credibility, to the audience needs, or to reason and evidence. So that is argument or persuasion texts. Okay, so there we have the four types of informational texts. We have literary nonfiction, expository, argument or persuasion, and procedural. Okay, so that's it for our lesson for today. But before I end this video, I would like to give some instructions for your enrichment activity. Okay, so for your enrichment activity that's found in the page 8 of your module, you have to cut out or search for a sample short selection, okay, from old newspapers or magazines for each type of informational text. We have there literary nonfiction, procedural text, expository text, argument, or persuasive text. So you have to cut out a sample of short selection. You could print using the internet, or of course old newspapers or magazines will be better also. Okay, so you have to provide cut out pictures or samples of short selections coming from old newspapers or magazines, or you could also search in the internet. Okay, second, paste them in the module that's on page 8. So you have to paste them in the module and pass it to me via hard copy, or you could also turn in a PDF file in our Google Classroom. So I will be providing a classwork button wherein you are going to turn in your work, and make sure that it is saved in a PDF file. Okay, so any other questions? All right. So thank you very much for listening. I hope that you learned something about informational text, and I hope that you do enjoy answering the modules that you have with you already. Okay, if you have any questions, you could send an email into my slsdb.edu.ph email, and I will surely answer those questions. Okay. Until then, in our next video, bye!